storm warnings or tornado warnings at the moment, but we do have a cell that has got me a little bit worried that could potentially be tornadic. So we're going to take a look at that cell right now and kind of follow it for the maybe next 10-15 minutes, see what it does. But we just had a report of a funnel cloud associated with this storm system, and it just looks like there's a possibility of this evolving into something a little bit more. So let's go ahead, let's go straight to it. Let's look at the radar right now, and you can see what I'm talking about. This cell is currently located between Beaver Dam and Iron Ridge, and it's the bulk of the precipitation is occurring in Juneau, the town of Juneau. And right now it's a little bit more disorganized than it was like a couple, like just even radar refresh ago. Let me just show you what I mean here. Let's go to the velocity, which actually just updated. And once again, this does not look as great as it was just a couple of minutes ago where I was a little bit more concerned about it. This is showing a little bit less organization, but let's just put this in motion and you'll see what I mean. And you can see right there was, and I'll try to highlight it right in there. A couple more paints here and we'll just have this rotate. You can see there's a little bit of velocity couplet in there, and yeah, definitely looked like it was a little bit more organized a couple of minutes ago. Since then, it's possible that the inflow is not as strong as it was as it continues its push towards Lake Michigan. And trust me, Lake Michigan's going to kill the storm as soon as it gets there. Let's back up a little bit and take a look again at the reflectivity of the cell system, which, like I just said a couple minutes ago, looked a lot worse and had me a little bit concerned that I was turning into something a little bit more than just your garden variety thunderstorm. And like I said, let's see if we can get a time on that report. Let's see, around 4:19 p.m. So about 10 minutes ago, we had that report of a funnel cloud associated with it, which would have made sense if looking kind of at the radar too. That kind of lines up nicely where we saw that velocity couplet. But since 10 minutes ago, it looks like it's not as organized, but that doesn't mean it might be not cycling a little bit. And actually here we just got another paint update. Let's go ahead, put that in motion. You can kind of see, especially considering the environment that we have today, this is quite the little cell. We weren't expecting much in the way of severe weather today. A little bit of thunderstorms we were expecting, but nothing severe. And this guy is definitely alone. We'll back up and take a bigger look at the area in just a moment here. Another sure sign of things is, and I know the lightning data doesn't show up really well on here, but lightning was very intense about 10 minutes ago. And don't see as many strikes on the radar program right now than we did about 10-15 minutes ago. Alright, so I'm going to zoom back out and you can see rest of southern Wisconsin, not much going on. Once the storm kind of hits Lake Michigan, we expect it to die down, so not expecting much in the way of severe weather across the state. We also have other thunderstorms in the over the state, not just here in southern Wisconsin. We'll take a look at that in just a moment. But again, primary concern is with the cell that's located going through Juneau right now. And we'll just stop this animation for a second. And you'll see Husford, Iron Ridge, you are in the path of the storm system, which was looking a lot more organized and looked like it had the potential for maybe produce a tornado. We had that reported of a funnel cloud about 10 minutes ago at this point. But right now it does look a lot less organized than it was even 10 minutes ago. With that being said, let's take a look at some of the other thunderstorms moving through Wisconsin at this moment. Like I said, we weren't expecting really anything in the way of severe weather today. Just a garden variety thunderstorms, but this cell kind of had the potential of maybe developing into something a little bit more. So we wanted to get on the air and talk about that. But let's just go through some of the other areas that we're keeping an eye on. More or less just for the garden variety thunderstorms, nothing too exciting. And you can see over most of northern Wisconsin, between Wausau, Stevens Point, Oshkosh, there are a line of broken thunderstorms. Definitely your garden variety thunderstorms moving through the area, and I could put that into motion. You can kind of see mainly eastward movement, but a little bit of a north component as we can look at synoptic scale in just a little bit, but there's a center of low pressure that these storms are kind of spinning alongside with, but mainly you can see just general west to east movement with a little bit of northern direction. And then we could take a look at maybe a little more discrete line of thunderstorms moving through La Crosse all the way down to the Iowa border. Now just entering, kind of crossing the Mississippi River. We could put those storms in motion. Between Eau Claire and Marshfield, a little bit more heavier thunderstorms, but nothing too intense. We don't expect any severe weather with any of these thunderstorms, but certainly lightning could be a problem. And obviously if you hear lightning, seek shelter, because you do not want to be messing with that. These thunderstorms will continue to push through most of the area this afternoon and evening. I would expect that once nightfall hits, we won't be seeing much in the way of any growth in these thunderstorms. So general weakening pattern, and especially as they move towards Lake Michigan. Lake Michigan is going to be a real buzzkill for all these thunderstorms today. Let's take another look at that thunderstorm that was moving through Dodge County. That was between in southern Wisconsin, excuse me. See if anything more exciting is happening with that thunderstorm. And we'll zoom in here. Not seeing much. Like I said, it was kind of looking like it was getting itself organized. We had that report of a funnel cloud about 15 minutes ago. But since then, I haven't really seen much in the way of anything that's got me worried. And you can kind of see there might be a little bit of an outflow boundary that has created the thunderstorms, the showers to the south of it. And especially when that happens, that sometimes can kill the inflow into the storm system, which then kills the cell overall. And actually, you can kind of pick that up on the velocity. If we go ahead and switch over to the velocity view, you can see what I mean. Looks like there's an outflow boundary between Columbus and then heading up northward. And sometimes as that pushes south, that will kill the inflow into the storm system. Yeah. But it's also sometimes a point of where the air can mix, and you can definitely tell that the main is actually, if we go to synoptic scale and look at surface observations, let's go do that right now. Switch on you and zoom in a little bit. Sorry, guys. Wasn't really expecting going on the air this evening. But you can see center of low pressure over western Wisconsin, southwestern Wisconsin, and this is kind of pushing off to the north and east. And just south of the storm, we have winds to the south, and you can kind of tell there might be a surface boundary here extending. And of course, I just lost the radar for some reason. Let's refresh that page. Okay. Temperatures and dew points, I guess, will do. You can kind of tell that there's probably a surface boundary, especially looking at the dew points, where we have dew points above 60s out towards Milwaukee, between Madison and Milwaukee. So winds are to the south in this area, and then back behind it, dew points really drop off, like below 50, and you can just see where the cold front is probably set up. And then there might even be a second boundary back towards the west a little bit, which is probably sparking those thunderstorms I was talking about earlier over the Mississippi Valley region. This isn't a particularly strong low pressure system, so No surprises there. And as I kind of expected, we'll go back to the radar in just a moment here. That outflow boundary, which I still have highlighted here, is kind of creating, which is from the thunderstorm, is creating a line of showers and thunderstorms along it. You can kind of see. So that would continue to kill the cell as it marches onward to its death to Lake Michigan. But like I said, we had the one report of a funnel cloud around 4:20 p.m. this afternoon, and it was looking like it was kind of getting its acted together. But obviously, National Weather Service has not issued any warnings this afternoon, even with the report of that funnel cloud. Did not reach the ground according to the report. So, and the funnel cloud, I guess, only lasted around 2 minutes. So, even that wasn't as impressive. We'll continue to watch the cell as it moves onward towards its death over Lake Michigan. But if anything happens, we'll come back live. Just wanted to give that brief overview. It was looking, as I was coming on the air, suddenly started to die again. Like I said, this environment is definitely not conducive to severe weather or tornadic activity, but it's just one of those things where there's definitely interactions of boundaries of different, atmospheric conditions, and when that happens, there's always the potential for something to happen. And obviously, there was definitely a report of a funnel cloud, which meant that at least at some point there's there's something in the atmosphere that was conducive to producing that funnel cloud. So we'll continue to watch this, but right now it's looking very disorganized. We can just take another look at the radar. That's looking very disorganized. I think any cap that's capping the atmosphere is breaking with that outflow boundary from the cell itself, which pretty much is the death of any cell, especially in a weak environment like this. So would not expect much development beyond this, but you never know, especially when you get close to Lake Michigan. You get air boundaries interacting with each other, so something could happen again, but we'll keep an eye on this. But I'm not expecting any severe weather, not expecting anything really beyond just the garden variety thunderstorms. So this has been an update. If you want to follow along, follow me on Twitter. You can kind of see the hashtag up on the upper left-hand side of the screen. And we'll come live again if anything else happens. Thanks for watching this